Hello everybody, my name's Matt Plummer. This is my speech of introduction. In the audience behind the camera is my girlfriend Sierra, my aunt, and my grandmother. Here we go. Money. We all want it, some of us have it. But to have all the money in the world and still be humble, now that's a really special individual. That's why I've chosen to speak about Warren Buffett, a self-made billionaire and at one point the fourth richest man in the world. Today during my speech, I will talk a little bit about his early life and childhood, followed by one of his major accomplishments. Finally, I will talk about why I admire him so much. Now, the early life of Warren Buffett wasn't much different than anybody else's. He was born August 30th, 1930. He was one of 3 children and the son of a U.S. congressman. From an early age, people knew that Warren Buffett was going to be different than anybody around him. By the age of 20, he had amassed nearly $10,000 just from investments alone, according to famouspeople.com. At the time, that was quite a sum of money, considering it was only 1950. He was always well regarded by his friends and family and classmates for being a very well-mannered individual. Now that we have talked a little bit about Warren's early life, we will now talk about one of his major accomplishments that really inspired me. Now, while Warren Buffett has had many accomplishments in his life, one major accomplishment that I find really inspiring is the fact that in 1988, he bought 1 billion shares of the Coca-Cola Company, according to Investopedia. Now, why is that inspiring, you may ask? It's the fact that he bought such a large company and was able to do so much success with it. Now, Warren bought 1 billion shares, correct? Pause it. Correct. Now, why I find this accomplishment to be so inspiring is because by just purchasing Coca-Cola, he didn't change anything. He didn't change the marketing campaign, he didn't change the staff, he changed nothing. But with the help of Warren Buffett, Coca-Cola was able to raise millions more a year. Now, how did they do that? Coca-Cola sells 1.8 million glasses per year. That equates to millions of dollars more made every year, which I find to be truly extraordinary. See, Warren does the little things that other people don't see. Now finally, I will talk to you why I admire Warren Buffett so much. Warren Buffett is worth $88 billion, but that's not why I admire him. I admire him because despite all his money, he lives an ordinary life. He lives very much like you and me. He drives an old car, an outdated car, a Cadillac. He eats average meals. He's known to eat at McDonald's twice a day, which is a very ordinary thing for a person of his stature to do. That's why I find Warren Buffett inspiring and why I admire him so much. It's the fact that he works the hardest and doesn't claim to be the smartest person in the room, but just by working hard, he does the little things that other people don't. So, what have we learned so far during this speech? A man from an ordinary background who had an ordinary life, just like you and me, was able to live an extraordinary life. A man who bought billions of shares of the Coca-Cola Company and made millions of dollars. A man who I admire very much, Mr. Warren Buffett. Now, what can we take away from this whole thing? We can take away from Mr. Warren Buffett that you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but if you work the hardest and make good common choice decisions, that you can achieve a lot in life. That just because you have money, that you're not different than anybody else. Finally, a quote from Mr. Warren Buffett. The difference between successful people and people who aren't very successful is that successful people often say no to a lot.